But instead, we go with Bayley cashing in on Charlotte the same night she won the Money in the Bank briefcase in 2019. Let's go to number 4, and these start to get real tough. There's some awful ones, and that's in another video. We're going to be talking about the worst cash-ins of all time. That'll be in another video. But there's a big dividing line to me. There was a couple that didn't make the list that I mentioned a couple of them already. There's a big jump of just, these were not good at all. But when you get into the top 4 here, these are the ones that you remember. These are the ones that made Money in the Bank as a concept great, exciting, meaningful. And really, when you talk about these next 4, a lot of them are launching pads. Some starts and stops, but launching pads for these superstars. Superstars. I don't work there anymore. They're wrestlers. How about the first Money in the Bank winner? How about the man who won it back at WrestleMania in 2005? How about the man who held it from when he won it at WrestleMania to January the following year, early January at that? This was a year in 2006 where there was not one, but 2 pay-per-views in the month of January. And that would matter as it related to this talent, this wrestler, and the man he cashed in on. I'm talking about New Year's Revolution 2006. John Cena is able to overcome 5 other challengers to hang on to his championship. But that wasn't the end of his night, because Vince would come out, and for the first time ever, we had a cash-in. Here comes Edge. Here comes Lita. He's got the briefcase he won in the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania the year before, and here we go. And Edge takes care of business. Dastardly heel, rated R superstar, slime ball. The worst human being, Edge, who's not like that in real life at all. Gets in there, cashes in on John Cena, and wins the championship for the very first time. What a moment it was, what a pop it was, because it was like unlike anything that had ever been done before. Money in the Bank was brand new. It had never been cashed in. Edge does it with the blank black briefcase, which I once interviewed him about. I had the briefcase in my hand because I was told this is the one. He said, buddy, I have that briefcase. There was a swap out at some point in time. So Edge still has his original briefcase from his first cash-in, because you remember he would go into cash again, but that's because he won the briefcase from Mr. Kennedy a couple of years later. But the first one, a special one. It comes in at number 4 on our list. Edge cashing in on Cena at New Year's Revolution 2006. Unfortunately for Edge, 3 weeks later, John Cena would get his rematch at the Royal Rumble. And in a rare instance, John Cena got a special Royal Rumble entrance as the challenger, and I believe he came out second, which was a huge tell of how that match would go down. Cena had this giant, I don't even know, like it looked like a bridge that came down that he walked all the way down right into the ring. And I remember when I saw it, and I was a big Edge fan, and at that point, the Cena malaise was real. I went, well, this is over. And they cut Edge off 3 weeks later. He would rebound in a very big way. But Edge, cashing in on Cena at New Year's Revolution 2006. You couldn't take that moment away from him. He comes in at number 4. All right, the top 3. And the top 3 are big. And I have shifted this around a lot because there's 2 cash-ins that I hold very close to my heart. One because I was there, and another one because I made every effort to make sure I could watch it. Those will come in at number 2 and number 1. Number 3, and I'm going to get some pushback on this, and I'd love to hear what you have to say at the community page at thewrestlingmatchshow.com. You can also tweet us at WrestlingMatt23 or on Instagram, post about it there, or send me tweets at the Matt Camp. Coming in at number 3, we go back to Northern California. We go back 9 years ago. Good God, it was 9 years ago. WrestleMania 31. The heist of the century. One of the greatest calls of Michael Cole's career, which he told me personally is his favorite call of his career. And I believe he said he did it on the fly, which is even more impressive. None of that Jim Nance writing the Masters winner line the night before at Butler Cabin. No. The heist of the century was a call by Michael Cole because you know what? If you know the stories, it wasn't necessarily supposed to happen the way it did. Maybe one Roman Reigns was supposed to win the championship on that night from Brock Lesnar. Remember, a couple things here as it related to that match. The Brock Roman feud, not good. The build-up. Remember what happens here. WrestleMania 30 the year before, Miracle on Bourbon Street. Daniel Bryan wins. The year Batista won the Rumble. You go back to that Rumble, Batista throws out Roman Reigns. People were pissed that Roman Reigns didn't win the Rumble heading into WrestleMania 30, which turns into Batista, which turns into Batista and Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan, and it worked out. 1 year later, and I was at this Rumble in Philadelphia. This was the night that Roman Reigns won the Rumble, but got help from The Rock, who helped take out Big Show and Kane, who had taken over that Rumble. After that Rumble, to absolute shit, because Daniel Bryan walked in and got dumped out soon after, and Philly was not having it. And if you remember, The Rock teased the night before that he was in town. I remember going like, is he coming in at 31? No. He was there to help Roman. And there's the famous picture of raising Roman's hand and looking out into the crowd going, they are crapping on this. Oh, shit. And look where we are today. A little different now. Rock helping Roman at WrestleMania 31. WrestleMania 40, they were on the same side. When will we see them actually face off? It's not part of this Money in the Bank video, but maybe you could sound off in the comments. So bringing it back to WrestleMania 31. The build-up to Brock and Roman was not good. The last shot of Monday Night Raw is them wrestling over the title. It was horrible. It was not the way to send people home. Like they're having a 5-year-old tug of war, a 3-year-old tug of war. It's like two puppies pulling the rope back and forth. That was the final shot of Raw heading into WrestleMania 31. But then they got in the ring and Brock beat the shit out of Roman. I mean, he beats him up and he beats him up and Roman keeps getting up. And it's a fight. You remember that Extreme Rules 2012 match when Brock came back after all that time away and him and Cena just had a fight that Cena won stupidly? This was close to that. This was a fight. Brock beat up Roman and Roman would get up smiling. And I went, that's the guy. That's the guy right there they want. He'll take a beating and keep on coming. Don't book him invincible. He doesn't have to be there yet. And Brock was beating him up. And there's a clothesline in that match that is absolutely brutal. And Roman's his mouth's all messed up. And I remember watching it going like, I would have been okay if Roman won that. And what happens? They keep going, and the music hits. And here comes Seth. Now remember, Seth had wrestled Randy Orton earlier in the night. And really the daytime, because that happened in the daytime. You go back and ask anybody who worked early on WrestleMania 31. That was hot. I mean, to the touch. There's that ladder match beginning of the show. Nobody wants to take a bump. The ring apron, the mat, it is hot. It is Northern California in the sun in, was it late March, early April? And Seth and Randy are out there early on the show. And that's the pop-up, maybe the best RKO of all time. And very Vince booking. Well, we'll book the Money in the Bank Mr. Money in the Bank to lose before they win the title because now we set up a title contender. I hated that. Book them strong. You can still have lineup challenges. Book them strong. So there's the neck down, step up. Seth goes flying, RKO. And if you hear the story from Seth, Randy didn't want to do it. Randy thought it was too much of a risk. If it went wrong, it would look bad. And it is perfect. It's up there. I think it's better than the Evan Bourne one. Because I think there's way more. Randy just have to wait for Evan Bourne. This was get him up in the air and get him on the way down. There's a great Ziggler one there too. That's my favorite one. However, Seth comes back from that later in the night, sprints down to the ring, gets involved, wins the match, becomes WWE champion, heist of the century, and a great finish to WrestleMania. A cash-in, which didn't happen again until this past year. Or this year, I should say, with Damian Priest. With Seth Rollins in the ring. There you go. That's number 3. And if you want to say that's number 1, I understand. Hey, this is Matt Camp. Thanks for checking out one of our recent clips from the Wrestling Mat. Why is someone so close to The Rock kind of throwing Cody under the bus?
Yeah, a lot of people won't engage with Jim Cornette. I did, just because I have a mark for Jim Cornette.
Please subscribe right now. Hit the like and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. And I think you should listen to your TV partners. Let me tell you about WWE and a little insight. More subscribers means more content. And make sure you follow us on social media at WrestlingMat23 on both Twitter and Instagram.